Welcome back to the Bluechip Breakdown, Vols fans. I'm your host, Bull. Happy World Series Monday to everybody. If you've got some lucky clothes, if you got some lucky rabbit's foots, whatever it is, if you got some lucky traditions, I hope that you have already started doing that today, and I hope that you're wearing those clothes. I hope that you're rubbing on those rabbit foots because this is game 3. And again, y'all, I might kind of talk about a whole lot of superstitious stuff. I'm not that superstitious, or maybe I am. I don't know. I just don't want to even chance it. So let's all be locked in. We all got to be dialed in. We got to help this team win tonight, and I think that we will. Now, we talked yesterday in that live stream. I said that I would tell y'all who the starting pitcher is going to be. We still don't know for sure, but we're thinking it's probably going to be Justin Lampkin, and he's 3-2, and he's got a 5 ERA. I think that we can get off to a good start, just like we talked about yesterday. If we do that, we should be in a really, really good spot. Now, they've also still got Austin Beck, who is definitely going to be pitching today. Everyone's going to throw the kitchen sink at the opposing team. Now, I will say this. I feel like Texas A&M might have the deeper bullpen, just as far as really good quality depth, but we're still in a great position. The difference is going to be with the starting pitchers. We've got Xander Sechrest starting for us. That guy's been a dog throughout this whole process, trusting him wholeheartedly, blindly. I'm not worried about the start of this game. I expect for him to get us at least 5 innings. If he does that, we're thinking, okay, maybe we'll bring in somebody like a Kirby, in that 6th inning, right? He comes in for maybe 1 inning. If he gives you 2, that's great. I definitely expect for us to be locked in and to give our best stuff out there on both sides. And then also after that, maybe we get calls to give us maybe another inning or even just like an out or 2. That would be huge. And, outside of that, I don't know who would be coming in. At the end of the day, it's probably going to be Nate Snead in that final inning. But again, y'all, the biggest thing is to get off to an early start, get up. And I feel like once we get up, we'll do a really good job of holding them at bay. Just because, again, Xander is starting off pitching for us. He's going to keep them to very, very minimal scores. And we are also still chasing that single-season home run record. Don't know if we can do it or not. I think that we have 6 more home runs to tie it, 7 to break it. I mean, if we end up tying it or breaking it, we're going to win this game. I can tell you that straight up off the rip. But I am also thinking that Austin Beck for Texas A&M is probably going to be a little bit fatigued. So maybe, whenever he comes in, probably around that 5th, 6th, 7th inning, at that point, we'll see if we can just survive. Let's make him pitch to us. But at the same time, we got to just do what we do. Really, this is a game that I would much rather go out, doing what we do. Be who you are. Don't worry too much about this, that, and the third, but just be the best version of yourself. And I feel like we will win this ball game. So a whole lot of confidence heading into it. Wanted to start off with that. This video will not be talking about that by any means. We're going to be talking about the big official visit weekends that we've had over the month of June. A lot of guys are trending towards our Volunteers. We'll take a look at that big board, and we will tell you if we can get into the top 5 according to On3 or not. And I'll just say right now, I feel like we've got a pretty good shot to do it. But please, as always, y'all, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're not already a member of this channel, please do consider becoming a member by clicking that join button below. And you can also donate to this channel. Help us grow by scanning with your smartphone the Cash App barcode in the top right-hand corner. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so this is our June 24th commits big board. And for those of y'all that have not seen this channel before, I'll kind of break things down for you so that we're all on the same page. To the left, the players that we are expected to commit. At this point in the game, I'm about at 95% or higher that everyone up under this list will be committing to our Volunteers. And then to the right, the players that are probable commits. Those players, I would say I'm at about an 80% or higher with some of them, but for most of them, it will be about 85% or higher. Now, what we're looking for is a class that's top 5 according to On3. And I like On3 because they encompass every other site's grades. I think that's the best, indication of how good this class actually is. And for us to get there, what we need is 21 or more commitments. We talked about 23 might be the ceiling for this class, but I can't really call that. We could always add more if we need to. I think there's some ways for us to work around that. But we need 21 or more commitments with an average score or grade according to On3 of 91 or higher amongst the entire class. So whenever you look at each player individually, you'll see to the right of their name, you're going to see their On3 grade. And that right there will correlate down to the box in the bottom right-hand corner that tells us what the blue chip breakdown is according to On3 this year to be a 4-star or to be a 5-star. Some of these players are on the brink of being a 5-star. It would be huge, and really even some of them are on the brink of being a 4-star. It would be huge if they could bump up some in their grades because, again, we don't know how many players we can take in with this class. But Starting off with our expected commits. Number one, David Sanders. We all talked about him going up to Ohio State, being our biggest competition, taking a picture for the whole world to see, throwing that Vols sign up. I've said for a long time, I feel like he is a silent commit to our Volunteers, but I don't want to jinx it. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen there. I would say, though, he would probably be the player that I might have the highest, confidence that he's going to be coming on home. So that's huge. Five-star offensive lineman, most definitely need him. Might be the only true tackle in this class that we get. Now up under him, we have Douglas Utu, and he's right on the cusp of being a five-star. He's probably going to be committing maybe today, right? Like there might be another video coming out after this talking about him committing. Sounds like things are going very well for us. We talked a lot about Josh Petty saying, well, look, we would love to add somebody like that that's versatile enough to play a tackle, even though he's a little bit undersized, but he's going to be an outstanding guard. Douglas Utu is Josh Petty with a little bit more size to him. So we should be very happy about that one right there. Now on to Deson Brain. This was one that I said, okay, I don't know what's going to happen early on. Okay, sound like he did like Tennessee. He visited us. Then he just visited Oregon this past weekend. Sounds like coming up out of that visit, Tennessee might still be very, very, very much in this. We might still be in the lead. Something else that I found out is that his girlfriend plays soccer or is going to be playing soccer for the University of Tennessee. I love our chances right here. For the same reasons that I don't necessarily too much love our chances with Josh Petty, I'm still holding out hope, though, because some people have asked, hey, will we take Douglas Utu and will we take Josh Petty? Well, I would say absolutely, no doubt. We're going to take them both if we can. But so far, so good, looking really good with this class. Travis Smith, another one that I think could end up being upgraded to a five-star, especially with a really good senior season. Wide receiver, he's that bigger body, 6'3", 200 pounds that we need in this class that the staff has been looking for. I feel great about our chances. If you watched his interview with Volquest, with Austin Price and all those guys, listen, he could not stop smiling. He could not stop laughing. He's just shaking his head like, man, this is unbelievable. That is what you want to see. Okay, everyone's talking about, hey, we don't know if we can beat Georgia out for some of these guys. We've got way more stuff to offer than UGA does, okay? And I don't really know why you would even want to go there unless you're just a front runner, because if you play any skill position, our running backs do a lot better than Georgia's running backs do, and our wide receivers do a lot better. Our tight ends might not do as good, but they will this season because we got a whole lot more talent. D-line, O-line, all that stuff. Our scheme, our system, a real family-oriented vibe up here, a real family for sure. We have all that. Georgia does not have that. They are a lot more dry and cold, and, it's more just about business. Why would you want to go do that when you can come on up here to Knoxville and beat those dogs and win that national title? People will see it after this season. I'm going to tell you right now, Tennessee, makes it into the playoffs, or if we beat Georgia, whatever, all of a sudden, Georgia's going to go right back to being very mediocre, which is where they belong, and no fan base deserves it more than them. Now, on to Shady Hayward. He's another one that I feel like is all Vol. Okay, he's kind of trying to downplay it. Now, he is actually going to be committing on July the 27th, and Travis Smith, I believe, is going to be committing on July the 13th. So we said before with Shady that he was going to be going to August the 7th, but I believe both of these players are going to be going on their birthdays. So I am expecting, as long as we can hold on to things, with about a month left to go, I think we're in a really good spot with him. We definitely need some safety help, and he's the guy to do it for us. I don't think he's going to be playing linebacker for us, especially if we get some more of these guys that we'll talk about here in just a minute. I think that he's a safety, and I think that he could do it at a very, very high level. Now on to the next player, Bryce Jenkins. His announcement should be coming out here in the next, few days or so. I would say by maybe like the end of next week, he's probably going to be announcing to our Volunteers. I love him. He's going to be playing defensive tackle for us, 6'4", 300 plus pounds. He's a guy that we need, right? Like, you need those big bodies on the interior. It seems like we usually have one guy that's more of that big body, run stopper, but can also rush the passer. And then we've got another guy that's just a little bit smaller that can get after the passer. Our D-line and our O-line for this class is going to be crazy. So hoping that everything falls through, or hoping that everything goes well with that, and I definitely think that it will. Now on to Onis Conanbanny. He's a player that we've heard, you know what I'm saying? Like we saw with, I believe it was Squirrel White, or no, that it was actually with Braylon Staley. He's on his IG Live, and he pretty much says, hey, I'm coming on home to Rocky Top, but we have about a month before he's going to announce. We just got to kind of hold on to him at this point, stay in touch with him, stay in contact with him. The staff does a really good job with that. So we are expecting for the 4-star cornerback to be coming on home to Knoxville as well. Now, we've also got 3-star cornerback. I'll call him a safety, Trey Poteet. believe that he's going to be added to this class. And it sounds like we're probably getting Utu maybe today before the World Series starts. And then Trey Poteet might be coming out after that. I don't know if it's going to be tonight. It'll probably be tomorrow just to give us some more time to celebrate it. But he's a really good player. You know, P and I just kind of talked about he's not going up against the best competition, but that does not take away from his game. He's a player that I know for sure could compete in the SEC, and the staff really, really likes him. So that would be huge. Now, if we do add all these players, I'm going to tell y'all what our overall grade would end up being. Just the players that we are expecting to be commits. And right here, let me pull it up. Okay, so it looks like we'd have about a 90.66. Now, depending on how many more players we get, okay, this could be bumped up to a 91. And also depending on how many of these players are going to be upgraded to a 4-star or to a 5-star. Utu is one that I definitely think could be a 5-star. I would say that Shady Hayward is another one that could be bumped up to a 5-star. And there are some other players that are already committed in this class that I feel like will be bumped up. I'm going to tell you right now, guys like Ty Redmond, he is going to be a 4-star. The way that he balled out in the state championship game of last season, he's going to ball out again. He's definitely going to take a big bump in his ratings. Really, I mean, there's several players that I could kind of point out. Justin Baker, he's going to have a really good season this year as well. He probably will end up being bumped up to a 4-star. So that little bit of bump, I feel like could get us up to about a 91 and bring us up to the top 5. Now, let's talk about the players that we are, thinking maybe could commit, their probable commits. Starting off with Jaden Politi, went down to UGA this past weekend. He's already committed to Georgia, but their insiders are even saying, man, we don't know. We don't feel like he's going to end up in this class. And a big part of the reason for that is, again, y'all, they are a business-oriented family. They're very intelligent. They understand how this whole process works. So they're going to look at it long-term. What's the best move for them, for their family long-term? It's Tennessee over UGA all day long, and it's really not even close. Now, he could be a player that you kind of have to watch until signing day. If that's the case, that I think that it bodes well in Tennessee's favor, because as Tennessee comes out here with all the studs that we have at linebacker, and as they are performing well, and as their draft stock increases, now they say, okay, well, there really, really is no reason for us to go to UGA outside of the fact that I think that, the whole family kind of grew up as UGA fans. But I don't think that that's going to be much of a factor for us. So he probably could have even been with the expected commits. That's where I'm at with him. Now, on to the next player right here. We have Christian Gass, who's also a linebacker. What I love about both of these players is that they're similar in that size and length and speed and being very versatile combination. I would love to be able to land them both. And right now, it sounds like it's between us and UGA to be able to land Christian Gass. So we did a really good job on the OV. I don't know what's going to happen. Like I told y'all yesterday, he is from Covington. A lot of times the players that, are from the state of Georgia, they kind of come from a little bit more of a rural area or just a little bit more country. They tend to lean more UGA. And the players that are more, from the city, they're the ones that you can almost, I wouldn't say guarantee, but those are the ones that it's tough, like they're probably going to be going somewhere else. They're probably not going to be going on to UGA. And there's a reason for that. We might get into that one day. Now, on to the 5-star defensive lineman, Isaiah Gibson. I don't know what's going to happen here. It actually sounds like he might kind of be leaning a little bit more towards UGA, but I don't know what their offer was. I feel like their offer was good enough. Why not just commit on the spot? Now, he's from Warner Robins. That's another place that's a little bit more country. So, I could see him ending up at UGA, but it's something about him that's a little bit different. I kind of feel like he's just not going to end up there. I don't know if it's going to, be with our Volunteers, but I don't really see him going to Georgia. It's something in his personality. There's usually a very distinct personality that you can see with players from Georgia, especially if you're born and raised here, like he and I are. You can just kind of tell the ones that are going to end up going there. I don't see him going there. That's a win for us. As long as he does not go there, I'm happy. But if he comes on home to Knoxville, I'm even happier. Now, the last player that we're going to be talking about right here is Marion Dye. And he's one that we wanted to hear what was going on with him because we didn't hear anything up until the videos that we put out yesterday. But late last night, Austin Price comes out and gives us a little bit of an update. And he says that it sounds like his official visit did go very well. But, we could not get that interview with them because they were on their way out the door at the airport. So hopefully things are trending for our Volunteers. Maybe we'll get some more information out today by the time that y'all see this video. Hopefully it favors our Volunteers. Sounds like Purdue and Ohio State are in a really good spot, but it looked like he had a whole lot of fun on his OV with us. He's one that I really, really want in this class. Now, if we were to, let's just say, if we were to add a couple of guys like Jaden Pilati and Marion Dow, who I feel like we might have the best chance to land out of the players that we're saying are probable commits. If we land those two players, we move up from a 90.66 to a 90.78, and that just moves us closer up to possibly get into that top 5 range. Now, obviously, if we land a 5-star like Isaiah Gibson, we're for sure going to be in that top 5 according to On3. But either way, y'all, we know that we know how to develop talent. Like, we truly do that. And I'm really not overly concerned with what the end ranking is, because we're getting in some studs. We're getting in some guys that we've broken down their film and we know that they can ball. So regardless of what any of these sites have them rated at, they're going to fit into our scheme and into our systems very well. And we're going to make the most of it. There's a whole lot to be excited about on Rocky Top, but that's going to be it for this video. We'll probably be seeing y'all a little bit later on today with that Douglas Utu commitment. But thank y'all as always for sticking all the way to the end. And please make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share with your friends, family, and other volunteer fans. We'll see y'all in just a minute. Thanks. Peace.